I'm not even going to start with a recap because it's been 2 weeks, but we're kind of starting off on a new leaf. You guys have resolved a great mystery of the Carina Nebula. I said I wasn't going to bother with a recap, and here I go recapping.
We
Uh,
saved the universe again!
we
Yes,
saved the universe
exactly.
again.
We
Yes,
saved the universe again.
saved Starfleet from a fate worse than death, and had a couple of temporal paradoxes along the way, but nothing that your good old temporal agent Claude couldn't help out with, along with a certain mysterious figure with a blue box that just saw their way in and saw their way back out at the end. So, uh, we start in the mess hall, where the Dauntless and Shroud senior officers are doing a little meet and dinner thing. Uh, Varek decided to be the chef once again and has prepared a what can only be called a Bajoran Vulcan fusion. So some Vulcan dishes with some Bajoran seasoning. It turns out about like Southeast Asian food, so it's a little on the spicy side. And Bianca, you notice that Talia hasn't shown up for the meal.
Mzadi,
Yes, Ashaya.
is Talia going to be here?
It's a long story, but the short answer is no, she won't be joining us this evening. I'll
Well,
fill
that's a
you in a
shame.
bit. Yes, tell me about it.
Mm, I was looking forward to seeing her, but duty calls, I guess.
Yes, duty calls.
I
So,
just kind of like I share a look a little bit with um Shanna, just kind of like that's weird.
Wait, who's Talia?
She's the tactical officer on the Shroud.
I was weirded out because I work with somebody named Talia in real life.
That's funny.
surprise! Please tell me the Talia you work with in real life is also an Orion.
Unfortunately, she's human, but she's also pretty cool. And we're, good peers.
That's good.
So that works.
um,
Shiana raises her eyebrow in response.
I don't know why, but I have this mental image of Dahli food and then just like deciding to like put the stuff that she doesn't want on someone else's plate.
she's just like she's just like sneaking stuff onto Rye's plate.
Yeah, just like finds the spiciest stuff and just starts
Yeah.
putting it on its plate.
And for his part, he's just like you notice as you're like dumping this stuff onto his plate, as sneakily as you can, he is equally sneakily like holding a tricorder underneath the table and scanning the contents of the food from the looks of things.
We're such rude dinner guests. It's so great.
I
Uh,
like the like mango papaya salad though. That's good. No, no. Thai food.
yeah, right. Uh, Going off topic a little bit, Sarah and I went to a little Thai restaurant in North Colorado City yesterday. She came down for lunch, and we had some good food there too.
Thai food is so good. Yeah.
Right? I had something, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like stir fried vegetables covered in a peanut sauce. Oh my god. I messaged Katie and was like, "Oh my god, this food is so good."
Just food coma.
Mm-hmm.
I love like lemongrass anything.
Yes.
So, yeah.
See, I can't do cilantro because it tastes like soap to me.
Yep.
So like I make up for it with all of the lemongrass.
Yeah. Yeah. Katie and I are kind of the same way. And whenever I make something that requires cilantro, I find something else green and with some sort of texture to replace it with.
You're a good person.
I try. Um,
Anyway, yes. Back to
yeah.
us awkwardly eating.
Yeah. And the crew members are kind of trying not to talk shop, but little details drop here and there. Uh, Commander Stanfield asks, it ends up like kind of in a highly technical conversation with Dash about how he modified the slipstream drive, what the TARDIS looked like on the inside, and Dash is like, well, I don't know if I should be telling you this. I don't know if it's classified. Then again, the temporal agent said there
Dash,
wouldn't be a report.
I'm going to stop you right there, Dash. If it can be found, Michael find it or Drex will find it.
So I should just not worry about the whole classification thing.
Yeah.
Okay. And he starts going into a greater amount of detail over on the side.
And Drex kind of like kerfluffles a little bit, and he just kind of is like, "Oh, I would never break into classified." And I just like, and Bianca just kind of looks at him like, "Uh-huh, right."
With that look that says, "Yeah, you've done it before, on a dare, no less." So, let's see. Did I? I did not print that out. That's all right. Sometimes I don't print things out. Um, but
And Bianca is kind of like, um, is just like inhaling whatever this version of Hasperat is that
mhm.
Valk's come up with.
Yeah, it is. It is. You're not sure you've tasted anything quite like it, or necessarily ever will again, and you make a personal note, Bianca, to steal the recipe.
Mm-hmm. And she says to Valak, she goes, "I'm sure this would go over really well on Deep Space Nine."
He says, "Well, I'll have to see if Quark's willing to buy the rights to the recipe from me."
I said, and I just said, make sure he pays you what it's worth.
Oh, he will, and there'd probably be royalties involved, if I have my say.
Out of character question,
Yeah,
have any of I'm assuming no, but neither of our ships have like because we're not galaxy classes or
uh-huh.
anything. We don't have families on our ships, right?
Correct. Uh, the Odyssey class starships can have families on them as a matter of normal operations, but the Dauntless is not doing normal ops. You guys have a joint service crew in terms of like you've got Romulans and Klingon officers aboard in place of the space that families might normally occupy on the ship.
Mm, okay.
Ooh, a nice pluck here and Shiana's social opportunity.
Very much so, yes. She's made some of her introductions already to the other senior staff of the Shroud. Um, and they're kind of there's a separate conversation going on between Canna and Jonas, uh, helm stuff related. Like, how does this thing not pilot like the ass end of a beached whale, basically? But not quite the exact words from Canna, but close. And Amra just seems to be kind of taking it all back. She's the Shroud's first officer and kind of mama bear.
Amara.
Amara, thank you.
Uh-huh. She's pretty awesome. I love Amara.
Yeah. After a moment, she says, Bianca, you sure have taken to this whole command business.
Can't say it's been easy, but there's a part of me that likes it.
Oh, yeah?
I never thought I'd outrank you. Let's just say that.
Well, I never thought you'd outrank me either, but you're still my kid. Don't forget it.
How could I forget?
You won't as long as I'm around to remind you.
As long as you keep this one out of trouble. And she points her fork at Santiago.
Well, honey, he can't keep himself out of trouble, so someone's got to.
And Bianca goes back to inhaling her food. She noticed it's popular with Kana as well, the Bajoran.
Shiana, observing this, like whispers to Pluck here. They're so adorable, it's disgusting.
Plick here just kind of smiles and says, it's fun to watch. Kind of an old family reunion.
That's true. I mean, a starship is family. I guess that means your family.
She just smiles and leans in a little closer. I guess I am, huh?
Yeah, you are.
Bianca just looks over at Varric and just like telepathically she just goes, gross.
Varric just kind of rolls his eyes. Not something that you notice anyone else, like not something anyone else would notice. It's a subtle enough gesture, but having served with him for quite a while, you have a good feel for kind of his emotional expressions. Dinner after. Go ahead.
And she's just like, we're not that gross, are we?
Says,
Yeah, you are.
Not out loud. I didn't say it out loud.
Well, no, not out loud, and I'm out of character. Yes, you are.
and Amra actually catches the glances and is like, "Oh, don't even pretend." I thought for the longest time, she says, turning to Yushiana, I thought for the longest time these two would never get over themselves and get together.
Bianca just like bites her lip and like looks down.
You have to tell me more because I only know them as, the fated couple that they are.
Well, they first met. Oh, where was it?
The
that was
USS
not her.
Salvador.
That was me. The Salvador, yeah. Well, they first met on the Salvador. That was a mess. That was during the Breen ambush, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And Bianca here decides to show off she's got some skills and has done her homework on the Black Nebula. Now, if you don't know about the Black Nebula, you go in there with your shields up, it's going to tear you apart. Because resonance frequencies of the nebula feed back into shield generators. Well, Bianca knew that. The Breen going after them didn't. It's pretty smart, and I guess that's what first caught Varek's attention. And Varek's face has gone particularly neutral. And then we get on board the USS Legacy. The tension was so thick you couldn't cut it with a phaser beam.
In my defense, I didn't suspect anything until I left.
Of course, Captain West. Shanna grins.
Honey, the fact that you didn't suspect anything is not a defense.
That's a very valid point.
A few of the crew members just kind of laugh at that pointed clearing of the throat.
Well, look at that, bull rushed on my own ship.
I hate to say this, and please let this not jinx us, but God, it feels nice to just enjoy each other's company. Doesn't it?
It is nice to have some downtime.
Yeah, until the next thing comes around.
Well, there's always a next thing, but in between all the things, we should remember to do this more often.
That's why I'm glad this crew is in this nebula with us.
Happy accident of fate, but I'll take it. Well, maybe not entirely an accident. Turns out being stranded in another universe for 9 months, thought lost in action. Starfleet gives you a little bit of leeway to pick your assignments. Not that I recommend it.
What, being lost in another universe or picking your assignment?
Being lost in another universe. In a torn up
But
ship
picking
with
your...
no life support. Not
Ooh.
my idea of a good time.
But picking your assignments, that's a good one. And Shiana nudges Pluckhair. You know, just that affectionate little.
Mm-hmm.
We got to pick our assignments.
That's when a hail comes in from the bridge. Bridge to Captain West.
Captain West here.
Captain, we just got a incoming signal. Hard to explain, but you're going to want to come up here to listen to this.
On my way. Bianca just dabs at the corners of her mouth with a napkin. She goes, "Excuse me."
Probably about time we wrap this dinner up anyway, much as I hate to. We've got orders of our own.
Well, you best be about it then.
Indeed. And so... Excuse me, we go to the bridge. With everyone else down in the meeting, hang on. Excuse me, reflux has been kicking my ass. With everyone else down in the mess, well, I'm not going to worry too much about who was in the con, but as you come up, they stand up out of the chair. And, Captain on the bridge.
At ease.
Captain, we just picked up this signal a few moments ago on a radio frequency.
Radio frequency.
Aye, Captain. Not even subspace.
Put it through.
Uh, the signal is heavy with static uh, and radio interference from parts of the nebula, but you can make out a couple of words. Assistance. Accident. Respond. If you can hear us, please help.
And then she just nods to whoever the communications officer on the watch is, and just say, "I was like, prepare a response on the same radio frequency."
Uh, Captain, the source, as far as we can tell, was in our survey as DSS-063. It's approximately 25 light years out.
Are we within range to respond?
If it was a light-speed communication, Captain, it would have been sent 25 years ago.
Okay. Well, I guess it's worth checking out regardless.
It might take away a little bit of the urgency, but it still might be worth looking into.
At the very least, we can see what happened.
Aye, ma'am. Shall I plot a course?
Lieutenant Carden, plot a course.
Aye, Captain.
And Journey, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
All right, so first roll of the evening. Let's make this straightforward. It'll be Control Con, difficulty 1. That's adjusted for your knowledge of the nebula. The Dauntless will assist with Structure Con.
I'll roll for Dauntless.
Okay.
Oh yeah, remind me to never roll for Dauntless, guys.
Oh, whatever.
You're good.
All right, you guys gain 1 momentum, and a course has been plotted.
Do we know what is out in this area?
I think it's been
check.
scanned.
It was briefly surveyed.
Bianca's going to ask for Lieutenant Catalaya to bring up the survey.
Okay. Stand by, Captain. It's Red Dwarf Star, 1 Class M world. Notes show evidence of a civilization that was spacefaring but not warp capable.
And that was a civilization that has since died out, or?
Mostly, Captain. When one of our survey vessels did a scan of the system and found approximately a population of approximately 50,000.
Of what?
Of sentient beings known as the...
No, I'm the number. You got cut off.
The number was 50,000.
Of what?
Sorry, you cut out.
Again?
No, what kind of sentient beings? Because you were
Oh,
describing.
oh, yeah. Uh, Based on the radio transmissions, I called themselves the Drazagans.
Lieutenant Cardin, prepare to place plan to place us in a high orbit, just in case they still have any working satellites.
Aye, Captain. I can do that.
This is still part of the nebula, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so the Borg wouldn't have come out this far.
What's that?
The Borg wouldn't have come out this far.
Not likely, no.
One day my knowledge of assimilated species will come in handy.
Question: Does this
But so
area?
definitely a tactical scan will be in order as soon as we arrive.
Hmm.
Does this part of the nebula line up with any of the fragments of the jewel from my division?
It does not. I'm going to assume you guys have entered warp by this point.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Noon.
Zoom.
Zoom.
The artisanal sound effects from Star Trek Online are great. If you get a chance, even if you don't play the game, log in on April 1st just to hear their sound effects.
I will have to do that.
I say that
Well,
this being the
that's like
middle of July,
a whole
but-
9 months away. I
Right,
don't
yeah.
know.
You may forget by then. That's fine.
You'll remind us all, right? Yes.
Yes. Yeah, I'll remind you guys because I have such a great memory.
Yeah, you do.
All right, so it's going to be probably a couple of days in transit unless you guys are doing like Warp 9.
That's a good question, Captain. What speed would you like to be going? I mean, is this a pressing thing? Do we want to get there fast?
No, just cruise. That transmission would have been sent 25 years ago. Whatever trouble they were in, it's gone now, one way or the other.
Aye, Captain. On cruising speeds.
All right. From here, uh, Steph had requested a scene, so I'm going to move us down into sickbay. It's some hours later, so I'm going to do a scene change here, and
Oh, hang on, give me a second. My phone is ringing.
of perfect timing. Thanks. Please hold.
Hold, please.
Does anyone else want to be down in sickbay with Dali for this?
Bianca will probably be on the bridge.
If I'm not needed to pilot, Jonas could be down there.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like
Dolly and Jonas.
playing
So
doctor.
adorable. Well, oh, wow. Wow.
Sitting in a tree.
What?
Ow.
Careful.
Okay, those berries are like squishy, and I'm not gonna eat them anymore.
Ew, no, I don't blame you. That's enough of the berries. Yeah, no, I was gonna say, Journey, flying a ship at warp most of the time is like flying an aircraft at 30,000 feet.
Cruise is boring.
Mm-hmm. Like
Just
that's
hit the
pilot
cruise
nap
control
time.
button. You're fine.
Pretty much. Autopilot takes care of most of it.
Is Steph back?
Yep, I'm here.
Cool. So we pick up in sick bay. Jonas is down there with you. You guys are just kind of having casual, friendly conversation. You're doing something in sick bay. I'll let you decide what that's going to be. Uh,
Um, probably this has been like a running thing. Taking scans of his Esper rating.
Jonas's?
Yeah.
Okay. Um, yeah, you know what? Why not? Let's do a reason medicine check. We'll do difficulty 0 here.
Sure. Reason, medicine. Xenobiology or neurology, I'm assuming.
Neurology, definitely. 3 successes, 3 momentum.
3 free momentum.
Well, what in particular were you looking for, if anything? You're just kind of doing a scan,
uh,
a generalized scan?
yeah, generalized, comparing it to like his scan when he like first came aboard the ship,
Gotcha.
compared to like his cadet physicals, like seeing kind of like if there's growth, if there's change, all that kind of stuff.
Uh, Kind of normal levels of change in terms of his neurological pathways. Uh, it, what you see would indicate basically what he has learned since joining Starfleet and since becoming a crew member on the Dauntless.
Mhm.
Nothing out of the ordinary as far as you can tell. And possibly more importantly, no lasting injuries from some of the traumatic events that he has endured.
The whole schizophrenia in his brain.
Exactly. And you can't see uh, any lasting damage that would have been that would have caused. And with 3
Okay.
successes, if there had been any sort of lasting trauma, you would have detected it.
Okay. Well, it seems you're mentally no, that's not the right
Mental
metaphor.
acuity?
It's not fit as a cucumber, right? It's something else. My metaphors are getting crossed.
Is
Fit
this
as a
in
fiddle?
character or out of character?
In character, in character.
Okay. Okay. Well, for the most part, as cool as a cucumber is the same.
Well, you're perfectly healthy.
That's good to know. No lingering spatial entities inside my brain trying to make me do things.
As far as I can tell, no. You lingering parasitic infections, no psychic influence, no lesions. Everything is as it should be.
Jonas,
Well,
when Dali mentioned her metaphors being a little screwy, uh, you heard kind of a subtext, the name Citroma.
uh, how did I hear that?
Your Elarian sense.
Ah, okay, gotcha. Out of character, do I know who Citroma is?
Jonas would not know who Citroma is. I think that
She's
was
got me
before your time.
mixing my metaphors. God damn it, Citroma. You and your bad metaphors.
Jonas is just gonna smile and well, my health aside, how are you doing?
I'm well. I'm still adjusting, but I think that will be a lifelong process.
Completely understandable.
I did not enjoy the spicy food at dinner. New experience.
Spicy is an acquired taste.
I do not understand why someone would engage in eating something designed to destroy their taste buds.
Well, think of it as extra flavoring. It makes the food better.
That makes no sense. It dampens your ability to enjoy other flavors by damaging your sensory organs in some senses.
True, but if you have enough of it, I guess it's a thing that you would just have to keep practicing at, unless you're just completely put off spicy food.
I think I'll stick to figuring out what I enjoy first before attempting to experiment.
That's a good idea. I am here though if you ever want to experiment. I know a lot of different types of food.
Well, you are rather versed in the universe.
Yes, yes, I am.
Are there any particular cultural dishes that you remember from being an Elorian, or are most of your cultural memories tied to Bejor?
A lot of it was heavily influenced once we settled on Bajor, but I remember. I don't fully remember. I think I was too young at this point, but there was this. I don't know, this vegetable akin dish that my mother made that was always very good. I don't remember it though. We're not exactly on speaking terms.
Perhaps we can research it, find out what it is.
That's all we need, an Elorian cookbook. It's probably older than the Federation.
It would be interesting.
It would. I don't think you'd find, if anything would, if there's anything in there that would be from the home planet, I highly doubt we'd find any of it.
You just get like a solemn nod in return.
Oh, I didn't mean it like that.
But
That was just
it's
reminiscing.
it was actually more of a I understand and can relate.
Yeah.
It's
It's just,
about here is where the two of you hear someone else in sickbay. And then you hear the EMH powering up. May I help you? And then perhaps the loudest sneeze you have ever heard.
Oh God.
uh,
I'm going to
Jonas,
venture towards this newcomer.
Jonas will follow.
Out in the main area of sickbay, um, You see the doctor the emergency medical hologram is looking rather disgustedly at a Farazan who is probably barely an adult, male,
Oh my god.
and
Where did we pick up a child?
well, barely an adult, so old enough to enlist, and apparently that's what he decided to do. On the floor is about a fist-sized blob of mucus.
Ew.
Well, that's interesting.
What's this? Is it a crewman or is it an ensign?
Say that again.
The Frosten, are they a crewman or an ensign?
Crewman.
How can I help you, crewman?
The crewman says, "Sinus plugged, still." It looks like he's about to sneeze again.
Oh god. Okay. Okay. Please
Get a
take a seat
catcher's
on the
mitt.
bio.
He
And I'm going to erect just a diagnostic force field around him just in case he's contagious.
Before you can erect the diagnostic force field, he sneezes a second time.
Ugh!
But
Gross.
with most of the pressure having been relieved from the first sneeze, this is a spray.
Why?
And the doctor still has a disgusted look, although you can tell he hasn't been hit by this. You are not so lucky.
Great.
And a fine mist has covered the top half of your uniform.
Oh,
Gross.
that's Hmm.
I'm assuming there's like a way that I can like easily clean myself. Like there's like a button
You know,
that basically like
that's a good
sonics
question.
off.
That is a very good question, and I'm not sure Star Trek has ever really delved into that.
Well, things to think about. Is there a button so that I am
Things
not
to think
covered in
about. Can
mucus?
you decontaminate yourself in sickbay?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with yes.
Okay. I will decontaminate myself and the floor.
The doctor, meanwhile, is just saying, if I weren't a hologram, I would be thoroughly disgusted right now.
Thank you.
Even though you are a hologram, can you still be disgusted?
Yes, but I can, and in fact I am. But I am not disgusted to the level that I would be if I had also been
Computer,
covered in.
please deactivate the emergency medical hall.
And in mid-sentence, he disappears.
Hey, that was a bit rude.
His help is unnecessary.
Unnecessary, yes, but you could have let him finish his sentence.
I just look at Jonas for a long moment. Bedside manner. Right. Need to be working.
Yes, you do. Not everyone sees you. I'm pretty sure not everyone gets to see every side of you like I do.
So I'm going to scan this Farazan, just do a general diagnostic.
Okay. I'll do reason medicine. Difficulty here is going to be 1. And
Bam!
nice job knocking it out of the park. You have maxed your momentum. Okay. It appears to be a rather high-grade sinus infection. Possibly picked up on Faraza, and it looks like this has been bothering this Farazan for quite some time.
You should have come to sickbay much earlier.
I didn't think it was serious.
High-level sinus infections can eventually impart severe migraines and potential loss of vision.
I passed out yesterday while after a sneeze. That's why I'm here.
Jonas is gonna help the poor Farosan over to a bed so he can sit.
He kind of like motions you away. He says, I am not weak.
It's not a sign of weakness. It's making sure you actually sit instead of standing.
With a glower, he makes his own way over to the bed.
Thumbs up to Dolly.
You get an appreciative nod.
Nurse Jonas, here to help.
On the biobed, Dolly, you notice the last couple of sneezes have evacuated probably about 80% of the blockage that was in his sinuses. But given the nature of the infection, it is his sinus cavities are already starting to refill. The only good news is it looks like this is not something that can cross-contaminate. In other words, it doesn't pose a risk to non-Farazan members of the crew.
All right, do we have other frosted members of the crew?
Probably about 20 or 30.
All right, I'm going to compile a list of them, or get the computer to compile a list of them for me while I am, like, flushing his sinuses and, like, giving him space antibiotics.
Yes. All right. Normally this would be controlled medicine, but given your last two rolls, I'm not going to make you even roll this one. Like, what would you do with 12 momentum anyway? So.
A lot. Redesign my med bay.
So it doesn't take a whole lot of time for you to kind of put together a roster and start treating this Farazan. And probably within the next hour or within about an hour or so, it'd be fairly quick to bring the other Farazan crew members in, check them out, make sure they're not infected, or inoculate them.
Okay, cool.
This looks to be kind of related to distantly related to some Cation bacteria or virus. I'm gonna go with virus. Some Cation viruses as well, but there's enough of a difference genetically that it doesn't pose a cross-infection risk.
Okay. We'll deal with the other Frostins, and then I will turn back to this crewman.
Can breathe again. Better.
How long ago did you sustain this infection?
Don't know. Didn't notice until the bleeding started.
He just gets like a deadpan.
Not used
It
to
is-
Starfleet medicine.
It's rather concerning that you would be so reckless with both your health and the health of others aboard this ship. However, given that you are a subadult, it is rather typical behavior.
He just kind of stares at you as if you had just spoken in Babylonian.
Jonas is just gonna like cover the upper part of his face and shake his head a little bit.
You are on 24 hours of rest. If you feel ill within the next 48 to 72 hours, you are to report back to sickbay.
All right.
And next time you're sick, let me know.
All right.
And
And what?
I wave him off to go back to his quarters.
He heads out.
Press the button to decontaminate the biobed.
And it's just this like scanning field just kind of starts at the head of the bio bed and goes all the way down, just and cleans it out.
And Dahli gets like kind of gives like a kind of fond, like exasperated head shake of the head as she watches him leave the juveniles.
Mm-hmm.
And she kind of like looks at Jonas, realizing like here, and like immediately like the like weird kind of fond mom smile like disappears.
Oh no. No, I saw that. I will remember that.
You don't need to.
Well, unfortunately for you, you can't make me forget. That was an adorable smile.
Yep. I enjoy subadults, okay?
Mm-hmm, of course.
I was in charge of watching the maturation of many drones.
I can see why you would be fond of adolescents and young juveniles.
They are reckless and often do things without thinking. But
Yes.
they often are hardier and more than many adults.
Mm-hmm.
I suppose I envy it in a way.
How so?
I lack imagination, if you haven't noticed.
I mean, there are a lot of people in the universe who lack imagination. It's not a bad thing.
Do all of those people open chess with the exact same move, expecting different results every time?
I'm sure there's somebody out there.
Mm. That's why I thought you cheated the first 5 times you played me.
Never. If you want, we can work on that.
Imagination.
Yes, it's easy. If you'd like, we can set aside some time on the holodeck, and I think there's something we can do to work on your lack of imagination.
skeptical look.
Big grin on Jonas's face.
I'll give you 2 sessions in the holodeck. After that, if it doesn't work, I'm not willing to continue.
Okay, that's fine. Two sessions. Okay, I think I can do that.
I feel like I need to take another shower, even though I'm completely medically decontaminated.
Normally, in those kind of situations, you'll always want to do at least 2 showers.
Well,
One for the contamination, one for the memory of it.
well, were you what's the word? Oh my god. There's a fancy word for sneezing and I can't remember what it is. But whatever.
Nasal expectoration.
Yeah, that's it. Did he expectorate on you?
I don't think so. I was behind you. I think you got the brunt of it.
Displeased look.
Though, you never know. I could have been hit with microscopic cellular level stuff and just don't know it yet.
You get directed to like the little pod with the decontamination thing. Push the button.
Goes obediently.
All right. So, on that note, we will cut back to the bridge. And the Dauntless has arrived at DSS 063.
Is this sometime later or
Yes,
just then?
it's been some time.
Okay,
So,
cool.
do you guys have is there anyone else who wants to do a scene in the interim?
I'm good.
Okay, just making sure.
Later on, I would like another thing where I can work on my phaser.
Okay. We can do that, but we'll we'll do that later. So here's the exterior scene.
I don't think I've ever seen a planet that color.
Can I get a scan of the planet?
Yes.
And a tactical scan.
Well, the tactical scan will be all Shienna, and our dolphin crew member, whose name I'm having trouble with, will perform the science scan. Catalea, thank you. Little brain fog going on, don't mind me.
And if acceptable, at some point, Jonas would like to do his own scan.
Okay. So let's.
Can I assist Catalea, like medically with her scan?
In what way would you be assisting in a medical capacity? What would that look like?
Just the general health and welfare of the planet. See if there's any notable bacteria for like why we shouldn't interact. That kind of thing.
Gotcha. Okay, yeah, you can definitely assist using Reason Medicine. Catalea will scan using Reason Science. Did a scene change, so I'm going to deduct a momentum for that, and the difficulty here is going to be 1, reduced from 2. Say that again?
What is Shienna rolling for her security check?
She's rolling Reason Security. The Dauntless can assist on both rolls with sensor science for Catalea scan, and then sensor security for Shiana's.
I can do the Dauntless unless somebody else
Yeah,
wants to.
no, go ahead. And Dali, go ahead and make your assist roll. Okay. Alrighty. So, yeah, you guys were already topped up on momentum. You've got some bonus momentum to work with here. Um, the planet's biosphere has been almost completely devastated.
Oh no.
It looks like it suffered an extinction level event roughly 25 years ago. Um, the bacteria that remain in the biosphere are anaerobic, meaning they survive in an oxygen poor environment. The
Hmm.
planet's atmosphere is 43.4% nitrogen, 32% argon, and 24% carbon dioxide.
Oh God.
That's a yikes.
So it is in the beginning stages of a runaway greenhouse reaction.
Do we
That's
know what the extinction level event was? Like if they were hit by something or
Um, Given the successes on your rolls, uh, bonus momentum you guys have accumulated, it looks like something catalyzed the oxygen in the planet's atmosphere.
could we? Sorry, just
No, go
because
ahead.
I'm not good at science, just generally. Um, so this is out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Could we even breathe in that atmosphere?
No.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay.
Uh,
You are picking up what looks to be a few environmentally sealed settlements where the atmosphere is breathable.
What could have catalyzed the like catalyzed as in like burnt it off or like absorbed it?
Your best guess is that something burned the oxygen in the atmosphere, like some sort of large scale chemical reaction, perhaps
Do we have
converted all of the oxygen in the atmosphere to carbon dioxide.
any indication of it being internal or external source of the catalyst?
Um, Spending one of your bonus momentum for that. The source looks to have been internal. Given the ruins of some of the cities that were formerly populated, it looks like there may have been some sort of industrial accident that did this.
it's a rough
from
deal.
Hmm?
from the
Bianca, sorry, I just said it was a rough deal.
Yeah. Yeah, basically a few centuries of global warming compressed into what probably lasted half an hour.
you said there were a few sealed settlements.
Yes. And those are the remaining population centers.
From our scans, what is their technology level at currently?
Uh, Pre-warp, still spaceflight capable. They looks like if it hadn't been for this accident, they probably would have achieved warp flight by this point.
What do they look like biologically?
Let's see. Biologically, humanoid. They don't have noses, but they have pronounced nostrils.
Oh, weird. Like turtles.
Or Mitch McConnell, yeah.
Oh, that's so unfair to these poor extraterrestrials.
To turtles too, to be honest.
Ugh.
Bianca, you can pick up low levels of telepathy, but they don't seem to have noticed the Dauntless.
Were there any satellites left that we would
Yes,
be worried about?
there are still satellites in operation. Most of them are communication satellites, uh, and it does look like they're still being used.
Can we tap into any of those communications?
With a, let's see, I will say yes, but it would require a roll.
What kind of role?
That's what I'm going to figure out. I would say probably control engineering.
Okay, that's not a bad role for
I'm
me.
going to make the difficulty 2, and the Dauntless can assist with computers. I'm thinking computers engineering. Let me check.
I can assist as well, if that works,
It'll be
since it was my question.
yeah, it'll be communication engineering for the Dauntless.
Hmm.
And yeah, you could even yeah, you can assist with with control security, Shiana.
Go, Shiana, go.
So, Jonas, I'm going to let your ancient technology focus apply here, given the relative age of this technology compared to Federation standard.
Okay, okay.
So let me know when you're ready.
All right, sorry. I was just reading over my talents to see if anything helps. Nothing does.
Okay. Okay, there's 2. Um, Shiana makes it 3, and the Dauntless. Sarah, if you want to roll this one.
Sure. Let me pull up the character sheet here. What is it? Computers engineering?
Communications engineering.
Okay. No dice.
All right. Close but no cigar. Once again, you guys have a bonus momentum, and you have successfully tapped into their communication systems. The universal translator starts going to work. Uh, it'll probably take around 10 to 15 minutes for the universal translators to have a complete understanding of the Drozegan language.
Quick question. From our scans of their satellites and their technology, is there any way for them to, I don't know, sense us or pick us up out here?
With the Dauntless on a high orbit, uh, they do have reconnaissance satellites, but they don't have any sort of space situational awareness capability, which is what they would need to pick up the Dauntless, so I'm going to say no.
Okay, okay.
Uh, so after a few minutes, the communications traffic starts registering in Federation standard. Most of it appears to be based on Um, most of the communications traffic is research focused. Um, there is some cultural development, although most of their cultural artifacts at this point are extremely dystopian, very fatalistic. They're not expecting to survive another 50 years.
Are they in any way trying to?
They are still sending out distress calls just to the open void, basically, in the hope that someone can be of help.
Have they attempted spaceflight out of the system?
Spending your bonus momentum, I'm going to say that they have had a couple of space probes a la Voyagers, like our Voyager probes. Uh, a couple of their more recent probes left the system at about warp 0.5. Uh, and again, if it hadn't been for this accident, um, Catalea says they probably would have achieved warp flight. That their technology curve was on a scale to reach warp flight, and then whatever happened here happened, and their technology level just plateaued.
Mm-hmm.
How does this is in character?
Yeah.
Dolly is gonna turn to how does this fit in terms of the prime directives condition?
Unfortunately, this would be on the same level as what happened during World War III on Earth. Earth was devastated by the Third World War and was basically bummed back to the Stone Age in a lot of respects. And it was the policy of Vulcan Science Academy at the time to not make contact with Earth because they had not yet achieved warp flight. But when Zephyr Cochrane built the Phoenix and the Phoenix went to warp within the system, that caught their attention. And then they decided that it would be worth making first contact. Unfortunately, due to the fact that they never achieved warp flight, the prime directive would forbid us to make contact with this species.
Their probes are warp capable, however.
But even if we
No, they
did
are
make
not.
even if we did make contact, what could we do to help them? How many souls are on
Well,
this
we would have
planet?
50,000. We would have to evacuate them all and then evacuate them to where?
Could we not assist in a terraforming project?
That's all theoretical. Because we can't interfere with the natural development of this species. If this catastrophe had been created by outside forces, if they had been exposed to warp capable species and somehow this led to this catastrophe, or they'd been exposed to warp capable species before, I would say that we could make an exception. But unfortunately, that's not the case here. Sometimes civilizations just do not reach that point.
Shanna, you're picking up a ship incoming at warp.
Captain, incoming target. Ship. Warp.
Target.
Incoming target.
Sorry.
She
I
knows
mean,
they're
That
not
is
we're
such a
either
Shiana
slip.
mood.
They're targets, not ships.
Can Jonas
Identify the
listen?
Okay, so one thing at a time, Jonas, what are you listening for?
To see if I was going to listen to see if this ship was a threat to us or the planet.
Okay. Alright, I'll let you do that. The difficulty is going to be 3. And while you're doing that, Shiana, if you want to try to identify the ship, That's going to be reason security difficulty 1.
And I have starship recognition as a focus.
You do
So
indeed.
What am I rolling for my?
You're rolling, I'm going to say Insight Command.
If it's okay with everyone, I'd like to take a dice for momentum.
Yeah, go ahead.
But you guys had a
And
bonus momentum, so I'll go ahead and chalk that off.
okay, I'm assuming my attunement focus would come into play here.
Yes. Okay, 2 successes. So you're not. You can't really. Nothing about it screams threat to you, Jonas. But given the amount of despair coming from the planet's surface, it's kind of hard to focus on this incoming ship. Shiana, you
What kind of
recognize.
ship?
Shiana recognizes the ship's profile immediately as a Zealand cruiser.
As a what cruiser?
Zealand. They're
oh
incoming at high
fuck.
warp.
Why would they be coming here?
To enslave what's left of these people.
Exactly. Captain, recommend red alert.
Agreed. Red alert.
Captain, would you like me to move the ship into any kind of tactical position or evasive?
Put this ship between them and the planet.
Aye, aye, Captain. Keeping us
And hail
still
them.
keeping us out of the range of the still in a high altitude. Jonas will put the ship between them and the.
Okay.
Hail them. Stand by all weapons.
Aye, Captain. Hailing them.
Zealand vessel, this is Captain Bianca West of the Federation starship Dauntless. Do not approach this planet. We will respond with force if you enter the system.
The Zealand ship is already in the system. They're about 30 seconds out.
All right, do not enter orbit.
USS Dauntless, this is Zealand vessel. We do not recognize your claim to this system. We are responding to your presence.
Our presence here is purely information gathering. State your business.
Our purpose is likewise information gathering.
What interest do you have in the system?
We are interested in why it interests you.
We received a distress call.
Shiana, the Zealand vessel is scanning the planet's surface.
Captain, they're scanning the planet.
Let them.
Let's see here.
Captain. And Shiana like bites her tongue.
There's nothing to hide.
No, but the Zealand are slavers.
I
And
understand
the
that.
population
I'm not going to let them do anything. But as of right now, they haven't done anything.
And if they do anything,
We'll be here.
Could we do something to foil them that isn't necessarily...
Let's see what they do.
Furthermore, if they attempt any interaction with this planet, we will have proof that the Zealand are still enslaving species, which we can bring to Star.
That is
Indeed.
an excellent point.
not only that, if they do interfere, and try and get a hold of the species on this planet, that gives us cause to interfere.
That's also true.
Exactly why we need to hold.
Yes, Captain.
If Shanna looks towards
I'm assuming
Dolly,
you guys
Dolly is
muted
giving.
comms at some point, and they're not just like hearing you guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
oh,
no,
yeah,
no, no,
yeah.
no. Gave you the kill gesture.
Oh no, this is all like internal. Hello.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I figured it
Jonas,
was just giving you guys shit.
Dolly is like sharing like an understanding look with Shiana, like, I want up.
Trust me, I
And
want
Shiana's like,
enough.
I'm
I
bored
want
with
an
that.
excuse to help these people just as much as you do.
Wait, careful with that?
What?
What was that?
Did
What
you
was
say
what?
that Shiana is uncomfortable with that? With the look
No,
that
Shiana's on board with Dali.
Oh, okay. I missed. You kind of cut out, so I was like, oh no, she hates me now.
Nope. We're on the same page.
Shanna, give me an insight security roll. Difficulty 2.
Do any of my focuses apply?
Let me check your focuses. Not here, no. But I will let the Dauntless assist with communications security? Let me double check. Hang on.
Okay.
Yeah, the Dauntless can assist with communications security. Oof.
F me, guys.
Oh
You can use
lord.
you can use your value to reroll.
The price of peace is vigilance.
Gonna use your determination?
Yeah.
Okay, you can re-roll both dice. Noticeably better roll.
And it was communication security?
Correct. Okay. The Zealand have replicated Dauntless's maneuver and tapped into the Drozigan communication satellites.
Don't like it. They're gonna offer them.
Shiana to is it Catalea or do we have a different
Yeah.
communications officer?
Oh, no, I mean, Jonas does you guys' comms quite a bit, too.
Yeah. So can we block the Zealand from their access to their satellites?
Not at this point. They have just as much a right to gather information as we do.
Captain, can we
As
block
long-
them?
I am not going to give that order.
Just asking a question. Are we capable of blocking?
You could
Of
jam their
course we're capable.
communications. Yeah.
Of course we're capable, but at this point I believe it would be unnecessarily hostile. If they just want to look around,
why is
if
it
they
always
just want to look, if they just want to look around, they can look around.
And Shiana in her head is like, why is it always fucking slavers? Why?
You know,
And that does not go unheard by Bianca.
you know, Jonas asked the same thing to himself, except instead of slavers, it's why is it always time travel and interdimensional travel?
I mean, at least there's none of that this time.
Yet.
How far are the Zealand?
It's just the effing slavers. Like, which...
Sorry. How far are the Zealand from us and from the planet?
So the Dauntless is in slightly higher than geosynchronous orbit. Geosync on this planet, because of its higher gravity, is about 30,000 miles up, or about 50,000 kilometers. They're at about 70,000.
Okay.
Um, and let's see.
We're in a clearly protective stance, so
Mhm.
they know that they'd have to tangle with us if they tried anything.
Uh, Jonas, give me a reason engineering role assisted by communications security for the Dauntless. Difficulty here is 3.
Okie dokie. Would any of my focuses apply here?
Let me check your focuses. No, not here.
Okay, if it's okay with everyone else, I'll grab a dice for a momentum. Or, I mean, I'll grab a
Yeah.
momentum for
Yeah.
dice. Thank you.
We knew what you meant.
Crap, 2. Okay.
Well, the Dauntless can still pull through here.
You don't have cautious?
I have cautious con.
Oh, damn.
I might need to upgrade to cautious engineering as well.
Or well, you can only have cautious for one thing.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's true, yeah.
You could get bold on engineering.
Someone could roll for the Dauntless and see if you make this check.
Okay, what's Dauntless rolling?
Communication security.
Okay.
And the Dauntless nails it. You're picking up a communications frequency on radio wave band between the Zealand ship and the planet's surface.
Jam it.
Yes, Captain. The moment she says that, Jonas is going to attempt to jam the signal.
Okay, give me just a moment. There's a specific roll for jamming a signal. I just need to look it up and see what it is.
Can I assist with it?
How would you assist?
With my engineering?
Okay, yeah,
Or
definitely.
or my science? I don't know. One of the two.
Jamming signal is control engineering. Um, and
Excellent.
what base difficulty do you want to set for them to try and overcome this? You can go anywhere from 1 to 3.
Suggestions?
High?
Yeah, well, does this mean that I need to get 3 to make it a 3,
Correct.
or... Okay, I will try and go as high as possible.
Okay. So it'll be control engineering, difficulty 3, assisted by communication security from the Dauntless.
Okay,
And I'm also doing control engineering?
Yes.
okay, I would like to take a dice for cautious con. Or no, wait, no, I don't have cautious.
No,
Never
but you
mind.
can take the extra die.
I will take the die. All right. Okay, let's see how this goes. I don't think I'm going to burn my value just yet, just in case something else comes.
Okay. There's 3. And 4. And the Dauntless?
I have such a low number and I still made it!
Sarah, did you want to roll for the Dauntless again, or
Sure.
it's the same roll as before? Okay. All right, so you guys are once again top down on momentum. and you manage to jam their signal, they are going to try and overcome. They're going to try to punch through it. Let me see here.
Jonas learned a thing or two about jamming signals.
I'm going to spend a threat to give them an extra die on this roll. Difficulty is 3. They are unable to maintain their communication. Successfully jammed their signal.
It's been jammed, Captain.
Good.
That is active interference in a pre-warp flight species.
The Zealand ship is hailing you again.
They're hailing
On
us,
screen.
Captain. On screen.
Why do you interfere?
Why do you interfere?
We are
This
establishing
ship is
first contact.
this species just is pre-warp capable. They are to be left alone.
Their warp capability is irrelevant.
We beg to differ.
You do not have authority here.
Neither do you. This is their planet.
Then open communications with them and see if they wish to speak with us further.
I mean,
They do not
Zaki's got
currently have they currently do not have a level of societal development that allows them to make that decision
According to whom?
intelligently. I'm not here to have a philosophical debate.
We repeat, you do not have authority here.
Neither do you. If your purpose is purely information gathering, then I suggest you get on with it.
Our sensors indicate their planet is dying.
Ours indicate the same.
If you will not help them, we will.
Our regulations prevent us from helping them because they are a pre-warp civilization. And we have found that elevating species from pre-warp civilizations causes more harm than it causes good.
We have no such regulation.
And I'm sure you have no such data.
There is no need for this species to die.
I'm gonna send a text message to Shiana while this is happening. And it's just gonna say, I mean, the Zealand are kind of right, as much as I hate to.
And what would you do with them?
We would render them assistance. We have technology to revitalize their planet.
And what would it cost them?
Yeah, exactly.
We are not here to hold philosophical discussions. We are here to help. Please stop jamming our signal.
As much as I hate it, I love the Zealand. I love him so much.
We will not permit any transmissions to be I can't talk. We will not permit any transmissions to reach the planet.
then you force us to respond via other means.
I am very keen to know what those other means are.
Jonas, you're picking up a communication toward the planet's surface in a UHF frequency.
Captain, they're sending they're sending another communications at the planet, and I spitball the frequency that you just said.
Jam it.
I will attempt to jam it.
Or garble it. Whatever you have to do. Make it look like static.
Captain, may I suggest we contact Starfleet for assistance?
No, there's nothing they can do about it right now.
Starfleet's gonna tell us exactly what we already know. Prime directive first.
Captain, may I be dismissed for a moment?
No, I need you here. Unless there's a medical emergency.
Alright, and then I'm gonna tap my comm badge. Centurion Lee to what's his name? Oh no.
Who?
Thronek? Is it Thronek?
Reese?
Reese?
Yeah. Your all's legal guy? Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to ask him to come to the bridge.
Okay.
Is Brian even in here?
I'm
No.
not seeing him. But that's all right. So he says, on my way.
Is there anything I can do to scramble or break that signal they're sending?
Yeah, it looks like basically the same. It's going to require a little bit more power, but you should still be able to block the signal. That being said, it looks like they are starting to maneuver themselves lower to the planet, possibly to try and strengthen their signal.
Captain, they're maneuvering their ship to get closer to the planet. Stronger signal.
Lock phasers.
Alright, Captain.
And Jonas will do what he can to stop the signal that's already going. Is that another control engineering?
No, I'm not going to make you
Right.
roll again.
Okay.
Not for that. I'm going to have them make a roll. Actually, no, but don't necessarily need to do that. Oh. Security. I'm going to spend a threat. They're now scanning the Dauntless.
Captain, they're scanning us.
Bianca just steeples her fingers.
If they had shields, they'd probably be raising them right now.
Shanna turns to Bianca. When do I get to shoot these mother effers?
Not yet.
And one additional threat, which puts me... Standby. Actually, still at 5. Alright, because of their complication, I'm not going to give them the benefits of their scan for weakness roll. However, an ion array lances out from the Zealand cruiser, hitting the Dauntless roughly in the middle of the saucer section.
Now you may fire.
8.
That doesn't look good.
That is, deduct 8 from the Dauntless's current power level.
Ouch.
No damage to the shields, but the ion arrays disrupted power across the ship.
Captain, we can't take a hit like that again. We are barely holding juice in our system.
And that's when
Quantum
Bridge to
torpedo
engineering.
spread?
Bridge to engineering.
Dash here. What the hell just hit
I
us,
need
Captain?
power back up.
I'll do what I
Zealand.
can. It's going to take a minute. Alright, so I need to know what you guys are doing first.
I want to fire quantum torpedoes.
Lock quantum torpedoes.
Okay, so the good news is those don't have a power requirement.
Haha, I'm so clever.
So, are you doing a single torpedo or a full spread?
Spread.
Okay, so the difficulty will be 3. I will gain 2 threat. It'll be control security, Shiana, plus weapon security from the Dauntless.
I can do the Dauntless.
Actually, on second thought, just one torpedo.
Just 1 torpedo? Okay. So, I only get 1 threat. The difficulty is still 3. Okay, single torpedo lances out from the Dauntless's aft torpedo launcher. And this is what sound effects are for. I have a sound effect for these. Strikes the Zealand cruiser. Go ahead and roll damage. Okay. That's a lot of vicious.
Yeah, boy.
12, 13.
Oops.
Dauntless, oh my baby.
It hits the Zealand amidships. The Zealand takes 2 breaches.
Hail them.
Aye, Captain. Hailing.
And give me a moment here to figure out. Okay, 2 hits to its structure. Hailing frequencies are open.
Zealand cruiser. We have plenty more where that came from. Leave the system or we will be forced to fire again.
The Zealand system, or the Zealand ship, is adjusting their course. Shiana. Give me an insight security roll, difficulty 1. They're on a ramming trajectory.
Captain, they're
Even-
headed right for us.
Evasive
Evasive
maneuvers.
Jonas is going to do evasive maneuvers.
Okay. There is a power requirement for evasive maneuvers.
Crap.
Let me double check what that is. Recent action, power requirement of 1.
That'll leave us with 1 power.
Can I or to sell assist with getting power back?
Yes, but it'll have to be a separate action. So you guys are going to have to
Okay.
decide what you want to do here.
Evasive maneuvers.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So deduct 1 power. It's Daring Con, difficulty 1. Assisted with Structure Con from the ship.
All right. I'm
Okay.
going to take a momentum for cautious.
Okay.
The thing I actually have cautious for.
Right.
Okay, my evasive actions and home operations would all
Yep.
come into play here.
Yep.
What's my difficulty?
Difficulty is 1.
Okay, rolling.
All right. 3 successes. And it's Structure Con for the Dauntless if you want to roll that.
Okay, just let me pull that. If anybody else wants to roll it, they can. I just have to pull.
All right. So 4 successes there on the difficulty 1 roll. Nicely done. That will increase the difficulty of their attack by 1.
We also have resistance +2 now.
Okay. Duly noted. So even if they hit, it may just be a glancing blow. Let's see what happens, though.
Hey, my ability is called Glancing Impact.
Speed is so it's going to be difficulty 3. I'm going to spend 1 threat to give them an extra die for this roll. Daring Con, Engines Con. Their Engines Con is pretty sad. However, despite
Oh
your
my
evasive
god.
maneuvers, they actually, it's almost like their helm officer anticipated the Dauntless going into evasive action. Because as you move, they move with you. Now, the Dauntless had started to move away from the Zealand ship as they approached, so it's not going to be as forceful.
Jonas is still going to yell out brace for impact.
All right, so this does have spread and vicious 1, so let's see what happens. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. What's the Dauntless's resistance with your bonus? I think it's like 11 at this point.
Our resistance is 9, 10. Oh, yeah, it's
Okay, so the impact doesn't do anything beyond superficial damage to the Dauntless. That being said, I'm going to spend 2 threat, and the Zealand ship is going to go to warp. They're going to spend 2 power to do so. And they're on a course out of the system.
If we follow them, there will be another Zealand ship.
I don't plan to follow them.
And the Dauntless doesn't have enough power left to follow them at high warp.
until we get
I'm
power back, we're not going anywhere, Captain.
Monitor their communications again. See if they receive the transmission, any part of the transmissions, and if they've been affected at all, if they've seen anything up here.
Can do, Captain. I will be right back.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'm filling Reese in on all of this stuff to see what his point of view is.
Like Brian Reese or
Like in character.
yeah, that's what I meant too.
Just Reese is busy, but I mean, I'm just seeing if he thinks like in his legal opinion, can we interfere now?
Legally, by a strict legal definition, the extent of Dauntless's interference would have to be focused on preventing the Zealand from interfering.
Which is what we did.
Correct.
So we have to just maintain position for now.
Communications traffic on the planet's surface is talking about something called a WOW signal. They definitely received something, but it was pretty well garbled by the time it got down to the planet's surface. That being said, the spike in radio noise was definitely noticed down there. Shiana, give me an insight security or insight engineering. Actually, yeah, we'll go with insight security. Difficulty 2.
Can I take a momentum?
But of course. I'm going to have Catalea assist on this. As soon as I find her. Okay, got your momentum back. Nicely done. It looks like it looks like some radio telescopes on the planet's surface are kind of swiveling towards in the direction of the Dauntless, like to within a degree.
Back now. Sorry about that.
No worries.
I did catch that, though. Do I need to move the ship out of...
These are all
Right.
communication satellites, correct?
These are dishes on the surface of the planet.
Yeah, so they're communication radio telescopes.
Yeah,
They're
I would have
actually
already
they're receiving radio telescopes.
I would have already have said we need to move Dauntless out of position where we were.
Okay, so you guys are moving the ship.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you guys are already at something like 70,000 kilometers, so... you know what? I'm gonna give them a chance to spot you guys. I'm gonna spend 2 additional threat here.
Wave, guys. Just wave.
Just wave.
Smile and wave, boys. Smile and wave.
There's a part of Bianca that hopes they spot them.
Jonas, give me an evasive maneuvers roll. Actually, not an evasive maneuvers roll per se, but a daring con with structure plus con from the Dauntless. Difficulty here is going to be opposed.
Okay. I guess I will take a momentum for cautious.
Okay.
Oops.
You get well out of range uh, of their radio equipment down on the planet's surface. It stops tracking shortly thereafter. Com traffic from their satellite network indicates they spotted this signal. It appeared to be localized to near geosynchronous orbit, but scanning that area, they weren't able to find anything. They're going to start extending their scans to the rest of their geosynchronous belt just to see if they can pin down the anomaly.
Captain, they're searching.
We still can't go anywhere.
You
No,
could
Can't
you
we.
could maneuver. I mean, you could maneuver at impulse away from the planet.
but that's what we do.
Aye, Captain. Moving at
But we
impulse.
could let ourselves be found.
Not now that you've
Let
said that,
ourselves be
Reese
found.
says.
Reese, you didn't hear anything.
Okay, so let's say that this was something Shiana thought and that Bianca heard.
Bianca's
I
not going to
mean,
respond.
Dahley is thinking the same thing, so.
You guys aren't alone. Jonas hates that he rolled really well right there.
5 successes versus 0 successes and a complication.
Rip.
So Jonas will be moving
Literally
down.
rip these guys.
Oh, Jonas hates himself so much right now.
You do, however, pick up uh, a subspace disruption. Not coming from the planet, this is coming from the approximate position of the Zealand ship, which is no longer on sensors.
I
Like-
think the Zealand
like it
ship
exploded?
Like it exploded. Yeah, it almost looks like a matter-antimatter breach.
I thought we only hit their structure.
You
We hit
did.
it twice.
You guys didn't cause enough damage to do that.
Oh.
Yeah, that was exactly my thinking.
Can Jonas listen to see if anything hinky just happened?
Anything hinky. You can. Go ahead and give me an insight command, difficulty 3.
We need to remain within the system, though, just in case other Zealand ships come back.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah.
Can I use some of our floating momentum to give myself an extra dice?
You guys don't have floating momentum at this point.
Oh, did we not get any from that roll? Okay, never mind.
Oh, from that
Then I
roll.
will.
Okay. Yeah, I'll let you buy 1 extra die.
All right, I will go ahead and. One short.
Yep. So as far as you can tell, nothing temporally hinky, nothing anomalous.
I'd like to speak to the captain.
On the planet's surface, there's an edge of hope to the despair. Like maybe there is something out there, or was just now. Maybe there's hope after all.
Jonas is going to slam his hands against the consoles. And he is going to very much try to control himself.
Bianca's going to reach out with reassurance telepathically.
Shannon would like to speak to Bianca and stop me if this is metagaming.
But stop me if this is metagaming, but
Stop me if this is metagaming, but Shiana I think the question on Shiana's mind is, we didn't destroy the Zealand ship. Who did?
Yeah.
Where the F is the shroud?
It's not necessarily metagaming, but the Shroud's orders are generally fairly highly classified by order of
Which is why she
Starfleet
wants to,
intelligence.
which is why she wants to talk to Bianca about this question.
Yeah, but no, that's not a metagaming question at all.
I don't know. I feel metagamey because it feels like the
That is
security
a
officer, like
Shiana.
Talia, the situation with Talia not being there, like there's something wrong there.
No, that's a burst of insight from Shiana. That's not metagaming at all, in my opinion.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
So when the captain tries to attempts to reassure Jonas, Jonas is focusing solely on the fact that he felt that blip of hope from the planet, and he's trying very hard
Yeah.
not to lose hope in himself for being a good Starfleet officer,
Yeah.
for ignoring it.
I mean, as much as Jonas is feeling that, Bianca can hear it too.
Yep.
Slightly different method, but
Is there any way, Captain,
She's like, I understand. Trust me, I understand.
is there any way we can figure out why the Zealand ship exploded?
Well, once we've waited long enough and there aren't any more incoming targets,
as Shiana would say.
I think we can probably go and investigate.
Okay, so here's what we will do. We'll do a scene change, which will regenerate the Dauntless's power. And we'll have the Dauntless kind of out about a light hour. So the planet is still visible, but it's kind of a pale brown dot. And actually, we'll move you guys to the ready room. We'll say that's where you guys are right now.
Bianca is just going to, is going to enter and offer Shiana the chair in front of her.
Captain, we did not destroy that Zealand ship.
I'm aware of that.
Somebody else did. Do you have information on the Shroud's whereabouts?
Unfortunately, I do not. Their missions are classified by Starfleet intelligence.
Given their distress or struggles in the months that they were in an alternate universe and the absence of their security officer at a recent gathering.
Oh, they weren't in an alternate universe. They weren't in an alternate universe. Valric was in dark space during the months that he was missing after the Iconian War.
Whatever the science is for it is.
That was on the Legacy. That was before we found him. Remember? I don't know if you were there. Yolan was there.
Okay, pause. Out of character. Player moment. What the heck
there was an anomaly that an anomaly in the Carina Nebula. Shocking, right? Uh, the Dauntless sent a shuttle through, found the legacy in a ship graveyard on the other side, um, in the middle of an intergalactic dark zone, which may or may not have been in the same universe as the Federation.
Oh. Okay.
Is that starting to ring a bell now?
Yes. So, has nobody asked the question about whether this Varric is actually Bianca's Varric?
Are we all in the conference room right now?
I'm sorry. Okay, that was like not like an out loud question.
Oh, sorry.
Captain, I have my misgivings about the mental and emotional like stability of the Shroud's crew, given what they've been through.
They haven't been through anything, Commander. I don't know what you're talking about. Hey.
Then why was their chief of security not at our gathering?
I don't know. Maybe she had work to do.
Nobody had work to do.
What? Hi. I'm playing. Sometimes people have duties that take them away from other things. I'm not quite sure what the concern is. Her duties aren't the same as everybody else's on the ship.
I don't know that I know what my specific concerns are, but I have a gut feeling. And I think that the destruction of the Sealand ship is something we have to investigate. And with an open mind towards consequences or causalities that are not favorable to our own mission.
If the Shroud destroyed the Zealand ship, they were probably ordered to do so. That's not my concern.
Shouldn't it be, though? We're prevented from destroying Zealand ships. We're prevented from helping civilizations on the brink of destruction that were on the brink of warp because of the Prime Directive. But the Shroud can go around the Carina Nebula just, destroying ships at will.
That particular ship antagonized us.
It did. And I would have shut
it
down if I'd been able to. And you know it.
So, if it was destroyed by one of our ships, why would it concern you?
Because we were prevented by legalities. And if somebody else within the Federation destroyed that ship...
Commander, we could have destroyed that ship if it came down to it and have been perfectly justified. They shot first.
Why is the Shroud cleaning up our temporal messes?
Temporal what?
Our messes. Temporal or not. Why is the Shroud following us around the Carina Nebula?
She's not, as far as I know. We meet up every once in a while in the Felathrine system because that's where our main base is in the nebula. As far as I know, she's not following us around.
I know this sounds irrational. It seems irrational. It feels irrational to me, but it also feels... This is my gut talking. Captain, something is wrong somewhere on the shroud, and it's affecting its operational, what its operational mandates are. We didn't destroy that Zealand ship. I'm 99% certain that the shroud did.
What evidence do you have?
I have no evidence. I only have my gut.
Like I said, even if they did, they were probably ordered to do so. I'm not sure why it would be a concern if they did.
I don't care if somebody destroys the Zealand. They're slavers. They're. I don't. I care about. I care about somebody operating inside our theater of operations with.
Which we don't know that they are.
With extra legal limits that we don't have.
They don't operate under extra legal limits.
Yes, they do.
The
If they
Shroud does
destroy that
not
Zealand ship, then they
operate.
do.
No, that ship fired on another Federation ship. They would have been within their rights to destroy it. We would have been within our rights to destroy it. Because they fired first. Are you all right, Commander?
Captain, maybe not. It's slaves, and it's the Zealand, and they're slavers, and I cannot pretend to be emotionally distant from this issue.
I mean, if you need to recuse yourself, just let me know.
That is not what I'm saying. I'm saying that there's something going on with the Shroud that we are not aware of, and we should be aware of. We are the flagship in this nebula.
And they report to Starfleet Intelligence and Starfleet Special Operations. When I worked aboard the Legacy, we were under their jurisdiction as well. I can assure you there was no extra legal, weird, voodoo going on. Trust me.
Captain West, please report to the bridge. Catalina's voice.
Understood. I'll be right there. Shiana, we'll find out what we find out. Until then, I wouldn't worry too much about it. Dismissed.
Aye, Captain. Shiana nods and exits.
And Bianca takes her chair.
On the bridge, let's see where we are here. That's the screen I want. Catalina says, Captain, I have an analysis of what happened.
Go ahead, give it to me.
Okay, yeah, right, yes, Captain, yes, sorry. Damage is consistent with disruptor weapons fire.
Disruptor weapons.
Disruptors, yes, Captain. Also, someone dropped a beacon here.
Beacon? What kind of beacon?
It's transmitting a signal, local radio wavelength only, on a non-Starfleet frequency. Well, it's radio. I just said that. I'm actually going to retcon that. It is subspace, but it's a non-Federation frequency. It's broadcasting thus ever to slavers.
Is broadcasting what, sorry?
thus ever to slavers in a dialect of Orion. And that's where we're going to leave it for tonight.
Hold on, Dawn.
Yeah.
I was just gonna
Okay.
message you. I
Oh.
wanted to do a stinger.
Oh, you wanted to do a stinger? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah.
No. But beyond Shiana, you're onto something because hey, their security officer is
Oh, great. I'm on to something. That like thrills me, guys, to no end.
For a minute, I'm like, where is she? Oh, I'm following.
All right. So, this would be the ready room on the shroud.
Okay.
Valric Santiago is drinking some tea and just thumbing through some reports on his computer when he gets a communique from Starfleet Intelligence. The seal of Starfleet Intelligence appears on his screen.
What's on the screen? I'm sorry.
The seal of Starfleet Intelligence.
Gotcha. Is that where you're leaving it?
No,
Okay,
no.
sorry.
Like you're receiving a message from Starfleet Intelligence.
Oh, me as Varric.
Yes.
I'm starting to read you now. Sorry, I'm tracking. Santiago
Okay.
here. Santiago here. Go ahead.
Captain, this is Admiral Welling from Starfleet Intelligence.
Admiral, what can I do for you?
No, it's more like what I can do for you. We've been noticing over the past several months there has been some illegal activity regarding your files. Back doors have been breached. Different sections of your files, citations, your reports from past assignments, mission logs, all have been compromised to one degree or another over the past few months. And we only just now started to track down the pattern that all of these files that have been breached pertained to you and your assignments.
Varric just mutters a curse in Vulcan. Do you think it's Section 31, Admiral?
No, I think this is from outside the Federation somewhere.
Outside.
But we haven't been able to track anything down. Whoever they are, they're good. But I know that you have good people too. So I don't know if maybe you might be able to figure out what's been going on.
Well,
But I'm downloading all the data that we've gathered so far to you.
good people -1. My chief of security has gone missing.
Missing.
Aye, sir. I've got the shroud investigating. I'm trying to keep it low key. I don't want to involve any official channels just yet, but on a personal level, I needed you to know, to be aware.
When was the last time she was on duty?
About 4 weeks ago, Admiral. About the time the Dauntless started investigating this yet another temporal anomaly in the nebula.
That's been a long time that you've been without a chief of security, Captain.
Aye, sir, it is.
All right.
But if I didn't know better, sir, I would say she doesn't want to be found, but I'm going to keep trying to track it down.
Let us know what you find.
Aye, sir.
Welling out.
Varric
And
just,
that's where the scene ends. Unless you
with
wanted to
no,
expand.
with Varric just kind of leaning in his chair, and he'll call in his hackers, and yeah, we'll let it go there.
All right.